Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tuassir wa tammim bil khair. Lesson number 32. Let's have a quick review of what we have learned in the previous lesson. This lesson is about al-istithna, that is exception. And we have seen that generally it consists of three things. Al-mustathna minhu, the one from which the exception is made. Then we have adatul istithna, that is the tool of exception. And then we have al-mustathna, the accepted or the one that has been accepted. And the example we have seen here, najahat tullabu kulluhum illa hamidan. All the students have passed except Hamid. Then we have seen that illa is adatul istithna, as we can see here. And then there are two more that are nouns. We have ghayru and siwa. And then we have two verbs, which is ma'ada and ma'khala. Inshallah, illa we will learn throughout the lesson, whereas ghayru, siwa, ma'ada and ma'khala we will learn when we do the exercises. Anwa'ul istithna, types of exception. We saw that it can be tamun, and tamun means when mustathna minhu is mentioned. So that's very important. When mustathna minhu is mentioned, for example, ja'at tullabu kulluhum illa hamidan. So now we can see that at-tullabu is mustathna minhu and it is mentioned. That's why it is called tamun. And mufarraghun ma ja'a illa hamidun, when mustathna minhu is not mentioned. Here we see ma ja'a illa hamidun, so there is nothing from which we can exempt something. So that's why it is called mufarraghun. Tamun, and after that it is muttasilun. What is muttasilun? When mustathna is of the same kind as mustathna minhu. Tullabu and hamid, so they are the same kind, because tullab, students, are humans, and hamid is also a human being. So that's why we will say that they are the same kind. Then we have munqati'un. So munqati'un is mustathna is of a different kind, and then mustathna minhu. For example, wasalat duyufu illa amti'atahum. The guests have arrived except their luggage. Now we know that duyuf are humans, and amti'atun, as we know that this is something, it's like ghayru aqil, yeah. So that's why it is munqati'un. And then the last thing we have seen that kalam can be mujabun, and that means the sentence is affirmative sentence or positive sentence. Iftah an-nawafidha illa al-akhirata. Or it can be ghayru mujib, and ghayru mujib means that it can be a negative sentence, prohibitive sentence, or it can be interrogative sentence. Hal yarsubu ahadun illa al-kaslanu. Does anyone fail except the lazy? Okay, do you remember what are the conditions or what are the possibilities where the mustathna can be only mansub? Where the mustathna can be only mansub? Tamun, muttasilun, and mujabun. Excellent. So when these three conditions are met, that means that mustathna will be mansub, as we can see here, al-akhirata, and similarly al-yunana, and similarly hamidan. So all the three conditions have been met. Okay, what is the second condition?
It has to be munqati'un, Ustad.
Munqati'un, excellent. So when it is munqati'un, then it will be mansub as well. So there are two possibilities that the noun will always be mansub, whereas when we talk about mufarraghun and when we talk about ghayru mujabin, then there are different possibilities, and inshallah we will learn throughout the lesson. Okay, so let's begin the lesson. And really this lesson is a masterpiece of Arabic language, and also it consists of lots of rules that we have learned throughout the lessons, starting from book 1 up to book number 3. Ad-darsu ath-thani wa-thalathuna, lesson number 32. Aliyun, ma natijatul ikhtibar ash-shahri ya ustadhu. Okay, what kind of ma is this?
Ma natijatu. This is ma'ul istifhamiyya.
Excellent. Ma'ul istifhamiyya, and it will be confirmed when you look at the end of the sentence. There is a question mark, so it is confirmed that it is a question. Natijatul ikhtibari. What kind of
Mudaf,
phrase is
mudaf.
this? مضاف مضاف إليه. الاختبار الشهري. What about this one?
And again, no. This is not.
موصوف and صفة, yeah. منعود and not. Ya is حرف منادى and أستاذ is منادى. Excellent. So Ali is asking the teacher, what is the result of the monthly exam? O teacher. المدرس, the teacher. نجح الطلاب كلهم إلا واحدا منهم. And the teacher says all the students passed except for one student.
One amidst them.
Okay, so now we can see that this is tamun. The kalam is tamun. And how do we know it is tamun? Because
tulab is
mustathna
mentioned.
minhu is mentioned. Okay, and it is muttasilun. Why it is muttasilun? Because we have
one amidst
at-tulabu and wahidan. Yeah. So, and then it is mujabun because there is no question, there is no negation, and there is no prohibition. Okay. So as we can see over here, it is tamun, muttasilun, mujabun. And when these three conditions are met, then mustathna must be mansoob. Wujubun nasbi, yani it has to be mansoob. When it is tamun, it is muttasilun, and muttasilun means it should be both here and here. And it is mujabun, that means that all the conditions have been met. And then after that, the noun has to be mansoob. All the students passed except for one student. Ibrahimu akhsha an akuna iyahu. Now Ibrahim has a fear and he says, I'm afraid that I am the one, or I am the one who failed. Akhsha, and we know an, and after an the noun will be, the verb will be mansoob. And iyahu, we know that it is used in the place of object. Yeah, iya is used for the place of object. So akuna is fail plus file, and iya will be maful bihi. Yeah, so he says, I'm afraid that I am the one, or I am the one who failed. Al-mudarrisu, the teacher. Naam, anta dhaka. Yes, you are that student. Okay, Ibrahimu. كيف رسبت وقد أجبت عن الأسئلة كلها إلا الأولى. Now Ibrahim says, how did I fail? كيف رسبت وقد أجبت, and indeed I answered عن الأسئلة, the question, كلها, all of them, and we know that this is used for tawkid, for emphasis. Yeah. إلا الأولى, except for the first one. So here al-awwala is mansoob. Why is it mansoob?
This is a question.
As'ila and awwal. So mustathna minhu is there,
It's
and
connected.
yeah, it's connected as well. So it is tamun muttasilun, and it is also mujabun, because there is no istifham, there is no negation, and there is no prohibition.
Istifham only knows that there's a question mark.
Kaifa, yes, but kaifa is a question word. Istifham only means when we use hamzatul istifham. That has to be the interrogative sentence when hamzatul istifham is used, because we know there are around 8 to 9 nouns like kaifa, mata, aina. They are also used to ask a question. But when we refer to istifham, that means hamzatul istifham. So tamun, muttasilun, and mujabun, and it is wujubun nasb. It has to be mansoob. When all these three conditions are met, then the noun has to be, or al-mustathna has to be mansoob. Al-mudarrisu al-awwalu huwa al-muhimmu. The teacher says the first one is the important one. Okay, why do we have huwa over here?
It's for emphasis again.
And ad-damir al-fasli.
Yeah, fasli.
Ad-damir al-fasli, which basically separates between subject and predicate, right? So al-awwalu, if you say al-awwalu al-muhimmu, then it becomes man'ud and not, right? But we want to say the first one is the one that is, or the first one is the most important one. So that's why in the middle we have to bring the damir al-fasl that will separate the subject and the predicate. So it becomes al-awwalu huwa al-muhimmu. The first one is the most important, or the important one. Walahu thalathuna darajatan, and it has 30 marks. So we know that lahu is jar majroor, so it will be khabar muqaddam, and thalathuna will be mubtada muakhar, and darajatan is the tamyiz of thalathuna. We know that whenever we talk about uqud, the numbers for 30, 40, 50, 60, 90 up to 99, then the tamyiz will always be singular and it will be mansoob. starting from 11 to 99. So the tamyiz will be singular and it will be mansoob, as we can see over here. Ya ikhwanu, O brothers, Ya ikhwanu ijtahidu ijtihadan. So we have learned that ijtahada yajtahidu ijtihadan. So what kind of
مفعول
construction is this? Maful mutlaq. Yes. So ijtahidu is, as we know, fi'l al-amr. So the teachers tells them ijtahidu ijtihadan, work hard as it is supposed to be worked hard. Faqad iqtaraba al-imtihanu al-nahai, as the final exam has approached. Iqtaraba yaqtaribu iqtiraban, something that comes closer. And we know faqad is used for emphasis. So faqad iqtaraba al-imtihanu al-nahai, the final exam has come close. Walam yabqa illa shahrun wahidun aw aqallu. And lam, as we know, it is adatun an-nafi. Yabqa, it was basically
remains.
yabqa, right?
Yeah.
And now it is majzoom, that alif maqsura has been dropped. Illa, except shahrun wahidun, only 1 month, aw aqallu, or less than that. Okay, here shahrun is marfu. Why is that?
Because lam is used to start. It's a negative.
So it is ghayru mujib, yeah, it's negative.
So it can be like marfu or mansub, this thing.
Yeah, or we can say it's mufarragh, because there is no connection between when we say walam yabqa illa shahrun. So it is basically mufarraghun and marfu'un ala annahu fa'ilun. So when we know that whenever we talk about mufarragh, that means as if illa does not exist. So we can say yabqa, and shahrun is it is marfu because it is the doer, or it is the fa'il.
Yabqa what? Yabqa shahrun, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the first one is the important one, and it has 30 marks. Oh, brothers, work hard, as indeed the final exam has come close, and only 1 month or less than that is left. Zuhairun, kam darsan nadrusu lil imtihani. How many lessons do we study for the exam? What kind of kam is this?
Kamul istifhami.
Yes, kamil istifhamiya. And after that, the noun should have 3 conditions. There are 3 conditions that need to be met. Number 1, the noun should be singular. Number 2, it should be mansoob. And number 3, it should be indefinite. It should be nakira. How many lessons do we have? So we can see that the noun is mansoob, it is singular, and it is indefinite. Al-mudarrisu nadrusul kitaba kullahu. Again, kullahu is used for emphasis. We will read the whole book. Illa ad-darsayn al-akhirayn, except for the last 2 lessons. Insha'Allahu, if Allah wills. Ad-darsayn, why is it mansoob?
Because it's tamun,
Tamun,
muttasilun,
muttasilun, and mujabun.
mujab.
Excellent. Yeah, so when these 3 conditions are met, tamun, that means mustathna minhu is mentioned, and muttasilun means that mustathna minhu and istithna, they are the same, and mujabun, it is affirmative. So all the 3 conditions have been met. That's why it is necessary to make it mansoob. So that's why we know that darsani, darsaini, darsaini. So it was ani, aini, aini. So it is mansoob. And al-akhiraini is the sifa of darsaini. So the teacher says we will study the whole book except for the last 2 lessons. Yusajjilu al-ghiyaba. Then the teacher registers the attendance. Man ghaibun al-yawma, who is absent today. Aliyun ma ghaba al-yawma illa hamidun. No one is absent except for Hamid, or no one is absent today except for Hamid.
This is ghair mujab, Ustad.
Okay, excellent. And also it is mufarragh, right? So ghair mujab is mufarragh, as we can see, and it is marfu'un ala annahu fa'ilun. So if we remove illa here, ghaba will be fi'l and hamidun will be the fa'il. Yeah, so that means it is mufarraghun, and that's why mustathna is marfu', because it is the fa'il or the doer of the action. No one is absent except for Hamid. Zuhairun, aina daftari ya ustadhu? Where is my notebook, O teacher? Al-mudarrisu huwa ma'i, that's with me. Sa'utikahu ghadan. A'ta yu'ti ita'an requires 2 objects. So as we know, harf istiqbal, it's used for the nearest future. U'tika, so ka is the first object and who is the second
Second.
object. I will give it to you غدا tomorrow, insha'Allah, if Allah wills. لقد صححت الدفاتر. Indeed, I have corrected the notebooks. كلها, all of them, and again it is used for emphasis. إلا
Except yours.
إياه, except for that one.
Mm.
Okay, so now here, illa, and after illa, the noun is mansub. How do we know it is mansub? Because we know iya is it is dhamir nasb. It is always in the place of the nasb. It is not used as refer. It is always mansub. So now we know that after illa, the noun is mansub. Okay, so all the three conditions, are they being met? Daftar, so we have
Daftar.
yes.
Yours. And kullaha.
It's connected because the teacher says I have corrected all of them except for his,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
And it is mujabun, right? So it is taman, muttasilun, and mujabun, and that's why it's wujubun nasb, that the noun after, or the istithna or the mustathna after illa has to be mansub. And there is a small pause, 3 dots. Fil hissat as-sabiqati sharahtu lakum ad-darsa. In the previous lesson, I explained the lesson to you. Illa jumalan minhu, except for one student, one sentence from that lesson. Okay, so now we can see that adars and sentence, jumalan, they are connected, they have a connection. So that means it is tam, and also it is muttasilun, and it is, yes, and it is mujabun. So we can see that it's the same thing over here. It is tam, muttasil, mujab, and that's why it is mansub. So jumalan is mansub because all the three conditions have been met. Idha aradtum, after idha, when we have the past tense, it is translated as present. Idha is adatu shart, ghayru jazim. It does not give any jazm to the noun or the verb that follows it. So idha aradtum, if you want, and we know that idha, when it comes with the past, it is translated as present. Idha jaa nasrullahi wal fath. So idha aradtum u'ida. Aada yu'idu i'adatan is to revise something, to do it again. So idha aradtum u'ida sharhahu, if you want me to re-explain it. Qabla, before, an ashrah al-jamala, to explain the sentence. Allati lam tushrah ba'du, that hasn't been explained yet. So the teacher says, I have corrected all the notebooks except for that one. In the previous lesson, I explained the lesson to you except for one sentence. If you want, I will explain it to you before I explain the sentences that haven't been explained yet. Okay. How do we get the meaning of yet? Whenever we have
Lam.
and after that we have ba'du, or when we have laysa and after that we have ba'du, then it gives the meaning of yet. If you want to say not yet, you will say laysa ba'du, not yet. And similarly, the teacher says lam tushrah ba'du, the lesson has not been, or the sentence, sorry, because tushrah refers to the sentence. The sentence has not been explained yet. So there were two possibilities over here. That noun is mansub iyahu and jumalan, and both of them we can see that they are taman, muttasilun, and mujabun. And inshallah, the rest of the construction, now you know, I'm sure everything is clear, right?
Yes, Ustad.
Okay. Ibrahimu, la hajata. What kind of la is this?
La of this one, Ustad, like la reba.
La of absolute negation, yeah?
Yeah. What is it
La
called?
nafi lil
Jins.
jinsi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jins.
After la, when the noun is mansub
Mansub.
or nasbun bil fatha wa nakira. So it has to be nakira, it has to be a common noun, and also it has to be mansub al fath. Can you give me an example from the Quran?
La reba fi. And
Excellent. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ
la ilaha.
فِيهِ. La ilaha. Excellent.
Illa.
Very good. Yeah, la ilaha illallah. And
That
then also
sentence
that is
also we
the
have mustasna.
exception.
Yeah.
Exception as well. Yes, istithna. Perfect. Yeah. So la hajata ila i'adati. So a'ada yu'idu i'adatan. So this is the masdar. So the Ibrahim says there is no need to re-explain it. إعادة شرحه يا أستاذ فقد فهمناه. Indeed, we have understood it. And who refers to the lesson?
Lesson itself.
So Ibrahim says there is no need to re-explain, O teacher, as we have understood it. Ali أرجو أن تعيد شرحه. But Ali says, I request you to explain it again. يا أستاذ, O teacher, فلم يفهمه أحد إلا إبراهيم. As no one understood it except for
Except
Ibrahim. Yeah, except Ibrahim. Okay. So now Ibrahim is marfu.
Because of lam. Yeah.
Excellent. So it is غير موجب. So it is تام and متصل ولكن غير موجب. And when it is غير موجب, then there is a possibility that it will carry the same case ending, which is of the mustathna minhu. So we can see that mustathna minhu is ahadun, and istithna or mustathna is Ibrahimu, or we can say that Ibrahim is badal from ahad. So there are two possibilities. Tamun muttasilun, so it is tamun muttasilun, walakin ghayru mujab, because we have lam, as we can see over here. And arafu ala annahu badalun min ahad, because Ibrahim is badal from ahadun. So that's why. And we know arju also means to request. It also means to hope. So raja yarju is to hope, but it is also used to request. I request you to explain it again, O teacher, as no one understood it except for Ibrahim. Idhan nu'ida. Okay, the verb is mansub. Why is that?
Because it is adatul nasab.
Yeah, idhan, we know that it is basically when there is a continuation of the previous idea and we want to continue, then we say idhan in that case. And then after that, whenever we have a verb, it will be mansub. Idhan nu'ida qira'at al-amthilati al-waridati. In that case, the teacher says, we will revise the examples that have occurred in the lesson. Al-amthilati al-waridati fi darsi, in the lesson. So the teacher says, in that case, we will revise the examples that have occurred in the lesson. Iqra'il ayati ya Zuhairu. And the teacher asks Zuhair to read the verses. Okay, Zuhairun, بعد الاستعاذة أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإذ قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس أبى واستكبر وكان من الكافرين.
Refusing.
Okay, so Iblis is mansub over here. It is mustathna.
The kalam is tamun.
Tamun, perfect.
Muttasilun.
Muttasilun, mujabun. Okay. But there is a small thing that we need to understand, because al-malaika and Iblis is not from malaika. Kana min al-jinni, right? He was jinn, as we have in Surah Al-Kahf. So from the Quran, we know that that Iblis was not an angel. He was like jinn. Right? Yeah, he was jinn. Okay. However, the order was the same. The order was given to all of them. So that's why we will say that it is tamun muttasilun mujabun. And the reason wujubun asbi li'anna iblisa laysa min al-malaika. Iblis is not from the angels. Walakinnahu kana ma'muran. But he was ordered, right? Amara ya'muru fahuwa amirun wa ma'murun, someone who has been given ordered. He was given the order bis sujudi, to prostrate ma'al malaikati, along with the angels. So he was, it was like he was asked to prostrate along with the angels. So that's why we will say that it is tamun muttasilun and mujabun. So fasajadu illa iblisa aba. So he refused. Aba is basically used to refuse the authority. In everyday Arabic we say rafada yarfudu rafdan. Yeah. So talabuka marfudun. Your request is rejected. Yeah. But aba is used for to disobey the authority, and Iblis disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he not only disobeyed, but also he became arrogant. Wakana min al-kafirin, and he became from the disbelievers. Okay. فَشَرِبُوا مِنْهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْهُمْ. But they drank from it except a very few of them. Illa, and after illa, Qalilan is mansoob. Sharibu, they drank. Minhu, from it. Illa qalilan. So qalilan refers to the persons who drank. So it is tamun.
Mustathna minhu is mentioned.
Mustathna
And so
minhu
it's
is
tamun.
mentioned.
Yeah,
So it is
tamun.
tamun. And also it is connected.
muttasilun.
Yeah, because there
Yeah.
were humans, right? They were asked to drink. So it's muttasilun and it
And
is
mujabun.
mujabun. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's why qalilan is mansoob.
Mansoob.
Excellent. So tamun, muttasilun, mujabun, and wujubun nasb over here. So, but they drank from it except a very few of them. Then we have ma fa'aluhu illa qalilum minhum.
This is my gairu mujab.
Excellent. Perfect. So here, because we have ma, so that means it is ghairu mujab, and that's why it is
It depends as if illa doesn't exist. And
exist, or yeah, we can say fa'alu, they did. Yeah. So wow, as we know that this is wow al jama'ah, that is basically they did. So we can say it is qalilun, yani it is connected to them. It is connected to them, right? So, but it is the only problem that we have. So it is tamun, it is muttasilun, but the only thing that we can see over here, it is ghayru mujab. Ghayru mujab. Excellent. So tamun, muttasilun, ghayru mujab. الرفع إلى أنه بدل من الفاعل هو واو الجماعة. So as we can see that it's basically بدل from hum. So it is تام متصل ولكن غير موجب. They would not do it except for a few of them. We must also appreciate the Shaykh, and we must make dua for his long and and the life full of happiness and also saha and afia, that how beautifully he has arranged these books and the lessons and also the course.
Thought-provoking ones, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So the course is so comprehensive that alhamdulillah, it consists of everything. It teaches us Arabic, it teaches us Aqidah, it teaches us Quran, and so beautifully it has been organized. That's why so many people did this course, and alhamdulillah, all of them they succeeded, and they were also able to impart or give their knowledge to others as well. And inshallah, it is expected the same from me and from you as well, that whatever you are learning, please try to teach it to others.
That's what Ustad in from my town. It is just 3 hours from my town, Ustad. It's called Vanyam. It's in Tamil Nadu. That's what I do.
Yeah. So Dr. Vanya, that's from
Rani.
from South India. Yes.
Yeah. Subhanallah.
Alhamdulillah. فهل يهلك إلا القوم الفاسقون. القوم is marfu'.
And here
because we have
hal is there.
hal, okay. And also there is no connection between yuhlaku and al-qawmu, because yuhlaku is a verb and al-qawmu is the nation or the people. So that's why we will say that it is mufarragh. And whenever it is mufarragh, then what happens? Marfu'un ala annahu naibu fa'ilun. So al-qawmu is the naibul fa'il of yuhlaku, because yuhlaku, we know it is passive. Yeah. So as if illa does not exist, so it will be yuhlakul qawmu. Okay, after al-qawmu, we have fasiquna. Why not al-fasiqu?
Because this is not, Ustad.
Okay, but al-qawm, after al-qawm, why not al-fasiqu? Why al-fasiquna?
Because the home is like a plural this thing.
Excellent. So it's a collective noun.
Yeah.
Ismul jam, it's a collective noun. So qawmun, it consists of all the people. So that's why in the Quran, like whenever you see, like nas, excellent. So after that, al-qawmu, and the noun or the sifa will always be, it will always be plural, because al-qawm is plural.
Something, Ustad. It's called some other word.
Ismul jam'.
Yeah, ismul jam'. Yeah.
Collective noun. Yeah. So if it is al-qawma, then it will be al-qawm al-fasiqina.
Yeah, 3 like this, right? Harun, Qawm, and one more. Harun, Qawm,
Rahatun is also used for the tribe, and it has been used in the Quran in Surah Yusuf. So Rahatun is also Raha and Pa, so it is also used for, like, it's also a collective noun. All right, so inshallah naktafi bihada. We will stop over here. I know, like, we are going a little bit slowly, but alhamdulillah, as long as we are able to understand this lesson and understand the idea, inshallah, that's our goal. And inshallah, as long as this goal is met, we should be satisfied with our pace. And inshallah, when we meet again, we will complete the lesson and do the exercises.
And our
Subhanallah.
Shahada is also based on this lesson only, Ustad, like La and
La
Ilaha.
ilaha illallahu
Yeah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
like very nicely we understand. mashallah.
And also one more thing, do you remember about la and illa, the combination of la and illa? Why is it used? La and illa, ma
Yeah,
and
because
illa.
this is La again. La ilaha.
Yes, so it's also used for the purpose of emphasis and also for hasr. Hasr, you know, when you make an idea, like when you confine it to one and restrict it to one specific idea. So that's why we have learned that la, the combination of la and illa, and similarly the combination of ma and
And when
illa.
we say La hawla wa la quwwata also the same.
Illa
thing.
billah, exactly. Yeah. So now, inshallah, there will be so many examples that we will focus on them. And whenever we are now, inshallah, whenever we say these things, we say with the conscious mind,
Certainty,
not
yeah.
unconsciously. So this is what we call reflection, right? So, and inshallah, that's what we are trying to do. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase us in our knowledge and practical knowledge that is fruitful for us and also, inshallah, for others. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.